It doesn't look like you'll be successful this evening. Commiserations on that result. How do you reflect on the broader campaign, not just for yourself, but the LNP and Labor?
Well, I've just been briefed a moment ago. Good evening, Kieran. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be back on Sky News tonight on a not-so-happy occasion for me and our party, North Queensland First. We gave it our best shot, Kieran. There's no doubt about that. It was like trying to rebuild the $6 million man after I was, politically cactus early last year. Sent to the gallows by the LNP under false pretences or a bogus complaint. It played out in the media. I want to thank Alan Jones tonight. He's one of those few people that actually said, you know what, this is outrageous. I was on Alan's program last week. He asked the question, has Ms Frecklington apologised to you? Well, she still hasn't apologised to me. They've won Whitsunday, Kieran, under false pretences as far as I'm concerned, only because of what I did standing up for North Queensland, wanting to burn coal for cheaper power, stop pussyfooting around with feasibility studies with dams and start pouring concrete, killing a few crocs to protect people. Frecklington, Mr Strong Choices, Tim Nichols and all those crazy inner city Liberals, they didn't like that, and so they found a way to sack me. So I feel vindicated in some ways, if I could say that tonight, because I stood up, stuck to my guns and have gone down with the ship. And I've got one of my colleagues here with North Queensland First. We're a start-up job that came about 12 months ago when we were registered with the Electoral Commission. We had a crack in 5 seats. I am upset that we didn't hold Whitsunday. But it is what it is. We're always on a hiding to nothing against the major parties. And I'll sum up by saying this. Deb Frecklington, but it would appear that Whitsunday is the only gain for the LNP tonight, and they've done it under false pretences. She's going to go, and not before time. The peanut with lipstick has to go, and I look forward to seeing how that's going to play out between Tim Mander, who's been playing with his whistle for a long time, and David Crisafulli, who should have been in the job in the first place, because it was my vision to make sure David got the top job last year and me to be his deputy, but that plan never happened because I got sacked.
And so how do you reflect on the strategy of the LNP? I know you weren't running for that party, but you were a long-time member. How do you reflect on the strategy that looks like it's not going to be anywhere near enough tonight?
Well, it's amazing, Kieran, because I'll say this. The LNP, that's their brand. You put them up on Sky News with your logos, the pretty colours, the blue and the yellow and all that, like Parramatta. Well, you know, they are the big city Liberals, or the South-East Liberals, as I keep saying, and there is a huge disconnect between the major parties and North Queensland, you know, and the LNP is the South-East Liberals. There's a reason why going into this election they only had 1 seat north of Bundaberg on the coast, and that's Burdekin. They believe, for example, energy policy, and I've seen people on Sky News programs in recent times. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to come on. That's another story for another time, and a good story at that. But energy policy, for example, I keep talking about burning coal for cheaper and reliable power. And the LNP, Frecklington and co, they just have a hamster in a wheel. That's their idea of policy, and it doesn't go down well with people up here. The farmers are jack of these tree clearing laws, Kieran. They're jack of the reef regulations, but the LNP are pussyfooting around and they haven't got the gonads to go to the electorate before the election and say, you know what, we will get rid of that legislation. I said that before this election. I think the KAP did as well, but the major Conservative Party, they are not resonating with North Queensland like they should, and they can't be told. I used to get up in the party room and Vaughan Johnson and a few others used to say, good on you, mate, because I was a young fella then, whether it was in government under Newman or subsequently in opposition. And it's ironic. It's ironic, Kieran, because today I had a message this evening from Barnaby Joyce. He wished me well in the count tonight before we saw any numbers. There are still some really good people in the LNP, but the South-East Liberals, they'll never do any good unless they change their culture and start resonating with regional Queensland. Otherwise, minor parties will cut their grass like a Victor lawnmower.
Well, you've been a broadcaster, you know, no doubt you probably returned to some role in that field, but how do you reflect on your political journey, Jason, tonight as it comes to a conclusion?
Well, it comes to a conclusion for now. I'm not going to make any bold predictions that I'm going to pop back up and do this and that. It's not a time to make any bold statements here. I want to thank the North Queensland First team behind me, our Secretary Ange Nixon and many others. We had the former One Nation state leader. He's behind me, Bill Feltman. There's a blast from the past. He was there for Pauline Hanson in the Queensland Parliament all those years ago. And so, you know, I've done the best I could as the member for Whitsunday, Kieran, over 8.5 years in government and in opposition and on the crossbench. Now, whether I go back to calling the rugby league, the NRL on Fox, which I did for 10 years, as your brother would well remember, they were great days, and I love the greatest game of all, and I still got great passion for rugby league and the NRL. I've already been asked about it, no surprise there, by colleagues at SBS tonight and different people who've phoned in commiserating with me. But I'm a fifth-generation local here. It upsets me that we haven't won here. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. You know, it's upsetting for me, my family and my supporters. But tomorrow the sun will come up, the start of cyclone season. I was hoping to win, get the balance of power, build some cyclone shelters, make our community a better place. But it's not to be. So what comes in the future with North Queensland First or me politically, watch this space. But needless to say that, you know, I love my rugby league and we still got it, baby.
Well, I want to say something. I want to say something to this bloke. See, I've been talking about this all night. This bloke was rubbed out of the party without being given a chance to defend himself. Then eventually the matter got to court and the complainant withdrew the complaint and apologised. Now, we've heard a fella here tonight. I've just got a young bloke who's just texted me and said, God, this bloke rocks. Who is he? Because we need people, on both sides of the party, and I think Trad is the kind of person on the other side, and this fella here, who can articulate what he stands for, he's unapologetic about it, and he resonates with the people to whom he's speaking. I think you've done a terrific job, and I think you've got a lot of guts and you've stood your ground, and I commend you for that.